Hello, everybody. Welcome to Genesis chapter 38. I hope you guys are enjoying the story so far. And if you haven't watched the previous one, please go and watch it. I will have it somewhere up here. And today we are reading the story about Judah and Tamar. So 38. So get your Bibles and get your notebooks and let's start. About this time, Judah left home and moved to Adullam. So Judah is Joseph's brother. Joseph's brother, Jacob's son. I don't know why here I wrote Jacob's brother. It's actually Joseph. So Joseph is the one they sold yesterday when we were reading 37, and Judah is one of his brothers. So he left home and moved to Adullam, where he stayed with a man named Hira. There he saw a Canaanite woman, the daughter of Shua, and he married her. When he slept with her, she became pregnant and gave birth to a son, and he named the boy Then she became pregnant again and gave birth to another son, and she named him Onan. And when she gave birth to a third son, she named him Shelah. At the time of Shelah's birth, they were living in Kezib. Okay, so Judah left home and moved to Adullam, and he stayed with a man called Hira. He saw a Canaanite woman, so a daughter of Shua. So we don't actually have the name of the woman that he married. He married the daughter of Shua, and when he slept with her after being married, she became pregnant 3 times and had 3 boys, Onan, and Shelah. 6. In the course of time, Judah arranged for his firstborn to marry a young woman named Tamar. So married Tamar. But was a wicked man in the Lord's eyes. So in God's eyes, was a wicked man. We don't know what he did. It doesn't really go into it here, the Bible, but obviously God knows. So the Lord took his life. So now Tamar is now a widow because her husband passed away. Is Judah's son. So the Lord took his life. Then Judah said to Er's brother Onan, "Go and marry Tamar, as our law requires, of the brother of a man who has died. You must produce an heir for your brother." Okay, so Judah instructed the second-born son Onan to go and marry Tamar and have an heir for them, because that is what the law requires. Okay, let's go to 9. But Onan was not willing to have a child who would not be his own heir. So he did not want that. So whenever he had intercourse with his brother's wife, he spilled the semen on the ground. So he did have sex with her, and he just didn't want to get her pregnant. He just didn't want to have a child with her because it's not his wife, it's his brother's wife. This prevented her from having a child who would belong to his brother. But the Lord considered it evil for Onan to deny a child of his dead brother. So the Lord took Onan's life too. Okay, so the Lord considered this evil. So what Onan was doing, having sex with this lady and not having a baby with her because he didn't want to, the Lord considered that evil. So the Lord took Onan's life too. So now Judah has lost 2 sons, and because of their own wickedness, because the Lord saw them as being evil, whatever they were doing. And Tamar is a widow again. Okay, now there's one boy left. His name is Shelah. Okay, let's move to 11. Then Judah said to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, "Go back to your parents' home and remain a widow until my son Shelah is old enough to marry you." So he didn't know what to do with her anymore. Like, just go back home. Like, you can't be here right now. I've lost 2 boys, 2 of my sons. But when Shelah is old enough to marry you, that's when obviously you'll come back and marry him. But Judah didn't really intend to do this because he was afraid Shelah would also die like his 2 brothers. So he was afraid that, oh gosh, I'm going to lose another son if they marry this Tamar lady. Maybe she's cursed. So he didn't want to do that. So Tamar went back to live in her father's home. Some years later, Judah's wives died. So whoever Judah's wife is, remember we didn't get the name, the mother of the 3 boys, has now passed away. After the time of mourning was over, Judah and his friend Hira, the Edomite, went up to Timnah to supervise the shearing of his sheep. Someone told Tamar, "Look, your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep." Tamar was aware that Shelah had grown up, but no arrangements had been made for her to come and marry him. So she changed out of her widow's clothing. Okay, so she took off her widow's clothing, covered herself with a veil to disguise herself. Then she sat beside the road at the entrance of the village of Enaim, which is the road to Timnah. Judah noticed her and thought she was a prostitute. Since she had covered her face, So he stopped and propositioned her. "Let me have sex with you," he said, not realizing that she was his own daughter-in-law. So he didn't realize that. "How much will you pay to have sex with me?" Tamar asked. "I'll send you a young goat from my flock," Judah promised. "But what will you give me to guarantee that you'll send the goat?" Tamar asked. "What kind of guarantee do you want?" he replied. She answers, "Leave your identification seal and its cord and the walking stick you are carrying." So she definitely wanted some sort of a guarantee that, you're not going to deny that you slept with me. So she asked for his ID basically, and its cord. So its cord is like a sign of wealth. It's like a ring that it's like some sort of a thing. Like, I'm just gonna say a ring that they put on that will identify this person as wealthy, and a walking stick that you are carrying. So whatever he was carrying, like a staff. So Judah gave them to her. This is how much Judah really wanted this. Then he had intercourse with her and she became pregnant. Afterwards, she went back home, took off her veil, and put on her widow's clothing as usual. Later, Judah asked his friend Hira, the Edomite, to take the young goat to the woman and to pick up the things we had given her as a guarantee. Okay, so this is now getting very interesting. But Hira couldn't find her. So he asked the men who lived there, "Where can I find the shrine prostitute who was sitting beside the road at the entrance of Enaim?" So I checked what does shrine mean. It means cult prostitute. "We've never had a shrine prostitute here," they replied. 22. So Hira returned to Judah and told them, "I couldn't find her anywhere. And the men of the village claim they've never had a shrine prostitute here." Then Oh, then let her keep the things I gave her, Judah said. I sent the young goat as we agreed, but you couldn't find her. We'd be a laughing stock of the village if we went back to look for her. Okay, so he was like, it's just fine, just let her keep it. People are gonna laugh at me if they see me go back looking for this prostitute now. It's 24. About 3 months later, Judah was told, Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has acted like a prostitute, and now, because of this, she's pregnant. Bring her out and let her be burned. Imagine, Judah demand, bring her out and let her be burned. Meanwhile, he slept with the prostitutes. But whatever. But the fact that Tamar, your daughter-in-law, which you have denied to marry the son like how you promised, now you want her to bring her out and let her be burned. Anyways, 25. But as they were taking her out to kill her, she sent this message to her father-in-law. The man who owns these things made me pregnant. Look closely. Whose seal and cord and walking stick is this? Judah recognized them immediately and said, she is more righteous than I am. What does he mean by this? Okay, so he carries on and says, because I didn't arrange for her to marry my son Shelah. And Judah never slept with Tamar again. So he recognized that, okay, she had no choice. She had to do this because I did not arrange her for her to marry my son Shelah as I promised. Okay. 27. When the time came for Tamar to give birth, it was discovered that she was carrying twins. While she was in labor, one of the babies reached out his hand. The midwife grabbed it and tied a scarlet string around the child's wrist, announcing, this one came out first. So that is how they used to do it, I guess, back in the days, to say, this one is the firstborn, and would tie a little string around the arm, the wrist. 29. But then he pulled back his hand, and out came his brother. What? The midwife exclaimed. How did you break out first? So he was named Perez. Then the baby with the scarlet string on the wrist was born, and he was named Zerah. Okay, so the craziest thing over here that I had to highlight, as you can see, I wrote it down here. Perez is in the lineage of David, and David is in the lineage of Jesus. So without Tamar doing whatever Tamar did, there wouldn't be a David, So I just thought that was very strange. And also, it's another reminder that no matter how much we could look at people, prostitutes or whatever, and judge them because, what they're doing looks disgusting to us. But, oh gosh, I'm so sorry, my ring light went off. No matter how much we can judge and look at people and think, oh, how disgusting of you to live a life like this. You don't know their reasons, so don't judge. That's what the Bible tells us not to judge. You don't know why people make these kind of decisions. And also, you're sitting here. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. My ring light is giving me issues. You're sitting here, you're judging people without knowing what are their reasons, and also God looks at the heart. Meanwhile, God is going to make Tamar be part of the lineage of Jesus. If you have read Matthew 1, and you are sitting here judging and you're not even part of that lineage because, you are looking like you're living this perfect life, but God knows the heart. God knows how envious and how horrible you actually are in your heart. So that's just another reminder that, we could look at people and judge them, but we actually don't know their full story, and you also don't know what God is trying to create out of their story, which is so fitting with the story that we're going to read about Joseph, because we look at Joseph and the hectic and terrible life he's going to go through, but you will see how it's going to be so rewarding at the end and how his dreams actually came true. So today is the 6th of January, and today we read Genesis 38. And from my observation here is to keep my promises, because Judah promised Tamar that Tamar was going to marry his son. He didn't keep his promise, and then Tamar ended up tricking him. So keep your promises, or just don't promise at all. But if you make a promise, keep it, because you don't know how people are thinking. Oh, I'm writing, be careful, gosh. Because you don't know how people will react. To a promise being broken. Another observation is to not judge people, because God looks at the hearts. This had to happen so that the lineage of David will be, so that there's going to be a lineage of David, sorry. God looks at the heart, which obviously we can't see. What else did I observe from here? Oh, another thing that I observed is that God can see everything, like what the brother was doing, Onan, spilling the semen on the side and trying to trick his dad. He wasn't tricking God, God can see it. So God can see. So sometimes we can do things in secret, thinking, okay, no one can see me, no one can see at work that I just got this one in trouble, no one can see that I just caused this chaos or this problem in someone's life and got them fired or whatever, but God can see everything. And what's sad is the results of this was death. So wages of this sin anyways is death, but you just never know when it's going to happen to you. So just be a righteous person, just be kind, just be Christ-like. Don't promise, don't marry into someone if you're not wanting to do what marriage duties are, like how Onan did. So just be careful of things like that, because God sees everything. All right, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's Bible study. I obviously enjoyed it. I love reading the Bible study. I love reading the Bible. I love going through the Word and just reflecting and asking myself if I am doing as God wants us to do, and if not, how can I change? How can I apply whatever I'm learning into my life? I really hope that you enjoyed it. Comment down below what you learned, and I'll see you tomorrow for chapter 39. Bye.